Nigga, we gotta start the podcast.
Oh my god, I'm trying to.
Bro, you do this every single time.
Don't be trying to put that on me. I hate that. Oh my god, let's start the podcast.
What did you slip up in my cup, girl?
It's just that when I drink, sometimes I get a little crazy.
Care to wet your whistle, Marcus?
Can I get a refill?
Oh, it's my night. I know it's gonna be good.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Say you got a man, but you're fucking around.
Yeah, I don't got it.
Oh, come on, it's a new song. I'm gonna lie to you.
Oh, it's a new
You know,
song?
Phony People.
It sounded like an old song though.
It's like an old vibe, but with like a new spin on it. Cause Megan Thee Stallion's on there, so we get a couple ads. Like Party of the Summers. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the old school. Get the little. But it's all
That's
right.
on your Tumblr playlist? Because if you know it's on your Tumblr playlist, I'm not listening.
First of all, don't come for Tumblr.
If it's in that bag, I'm not gonna know what it is. I promise you.
You know what? I was just trying to shout out Phony People since I seen them on Tiny Desk concert. But you know what?
Yo, the Tiny Desk shit is be fire. I'm never gonna lie to you, bro. Like I really fuck with them.
I only seen one.
You only seen one? No.
Yeah,
You just gotta go scroll over to the bottom and just start picking people.
Yeah, you gotta take like a few hours out your Saturday and just get lost in that.
Yeah, it's like a concert in your house, but it's tiny. Cute. Like
there's really no other way I could describe it.
That's quite literally it. I saw like Megan Thee Stallion, like I just saw hers, right? And I didn't realize like how tall. Like I knew she was tall, but like she's a thick bitch. Like she's like
she's 5'10". Like
she's like tall, so she's in your like eye. And I was like, her breasts are gonna knock over all that. if she like moves way too fast. So I don't know. But all right, here we are. They didn't like my song. I'll try again next time.
I just ain't know it.
You know what? It's
fine. I want to know it now.
Yes, Phony People fucking around. Shout out to my little cousin for putting me onto that band. Like, it's really cool. Don't look like that, Hy-Deia. Don't do that.
I'm sorry. It caught me off guard. Like,
I love, you know what? It's a vibe. Don't even worry about it. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Okay. All right, Winers, here we are. Hello, we are back.
What's up?
I know. I feel like every week that we put out an episode, they're surprised that we keep doing this. So I'm excited.
I know, I'm surprised.
I think every 2 weeks they're waiting for us to just say like, yeah, we're going on another break. We'll see y'all in like April.
Oh my God.
I'm waiting on a break. I'm tired, bro. I keep trying to tell you, I can't keep putting out content like this. My brain.
I know. I got actual job. If y'all want me to put out content every week, y'all could pay me. Like Cash App, OD.
Nah, listen, you don't understand.
Support Black creators.
I have to talk to you every day. And then you want me to also talk to you for an hour here. I don't have enough content for you to entertain you.
You see how people do you? You see, anywho, for those of you who are just learning us, my name is Nia.Biaa.
I'm your boy, MikeyBarxxx, 3 X's because I'm nasty.
Or because he's crazy. Either way, we'll never know. But we also have a guest today. We are so excited. Michael, are you going to introduce our guest?
I was going to until you took my thing from me. That's crazy, though. But I'm going to do it again. All right, so we got a special guest, first guest of the new season. So this one's going to be long, y'all, so bear with me. So she's an astrologer. Boom. She's an energy wellness practitioner. Mm-hmm. Metaphysical life coach, intuitive tarot spiritualist, and naturalista. Shouts to me for not fucking none of that up first though, because I was practicing for
I'm very proud.
15 minutes.
Because I'd have been like naturalista. Here we go.
Also, you didn't notice when I first got to Buff State, you were probably one of the first people I actually saw and met.
Really?
Like when I first. Yes, you're not gonna remember this. It was like a very brief conversation.
Wow.
And then I was like, never remember. Like after that, I never really spoke to you ever again. But you were one of the first people I met when I transferred there. So it's hella funny for me, like forced to come back full circle that you're on the show now. So again, and actually I'm gonna say your name now. We have Hy-Deia on the show. Welcome to the show.
Yay! Insert clapping noises here. So excited.
Thanks, God. Happy to be here.
Yay!
Yeah, so for me, after I listed all those things, one, because that is what you do and you do a good job at it. But I was hoping, if not for anybody else, just for me, explain to me what all those things mean and what they are.
Okay, so hold on. That was a long list. You want me
to just, actually, I'll help you out. First off, what's an astrologer?
Okay, so
Rich? No, I'm sorry.
So I'm an astrologer. I've been into astrology since I was probably like 12 years old. And not just like basic astrology. You know, like most people, we think like, we only know our sun signs, right? So most people know their sun signs. And because of that, because how it's been kind of conditioned and like faked a little bit, like kind of just over categorized into like a generalization, people don't really believe in like astrology, but astrology is like one of the most like ancient sciences that there is. There's a lot of different layers to it. So what I do is I study this ancient science, and I see people as like layers. So I see your sun sign, I see all the other planets that you're made out of, and each of these planets, they have like different meanings to them. So based on like, it say like you have Mercury in another horoscope, like Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury is how you communicate. So it'd be like you communicate like a Cancer. So basically kind of just like I study people, but I also study astrology for major events in the world. And
we'll
then
to that. I know about that.
Yeah,
it's coming, honey. Don't you worry. I got some shit for you.
Don't worry. Yeah. So you can literally use astrology to tell you about other people, to tell you about events, to learn about yourself, to learn what you need to heal. It's like a cheat sheet. So I use astrology. I study astrology for that. Plus, even when you start getting real deep into it, there's this thing called houses, and then you have transits, and then you have aspects, and then you have like degrees.
Just 101, just 101, please.
Yeah, astrology for dummies. That's all we need. That's what we're looking for.
But she started saying planets. I was like, so did she mean like planets we know, or like there's other planets I don't know?
We know. So within our solar system, right? Because like other planets wouldn't affect us because we're not within that solar system.
I didn't think Mercury affected me, but okay.
Yeah. Especially that's funny because we're about to start Mercury retrograde, which is
I
heard that.
That's when people start acting crazy.
Not even. Well, I mean, it depends on if you have. So Mercury rules Gemini and Virgos mostly. It's their ruling. So another thing, horoscopes
not me.
have ruling. Yeah. So horoscopes have ruling planets. And what that means is those planets, they have more like effect on that specific horoscope, that specific person. So when Mercury goes into retrograde, which means goes backwards, right? So retrograde is going backwards. What happens is Mercury is like the planet of communication, travel, things like that. So things dealing with communication and travel goes haywire. So that's why they tell you, like, if you have an important discussion you want to talk about something important,
you gotta do it before October 25 because Shorty ain't going.
No, we're out tomorrow.
Oh shit! No. Oh damn! We tried to save y'all.
No, yeah, tomorrow. Well, yeah, it usually happens like 3 to 4 times a year, and it goes on for about close to 4 weeks, almost 4 weeks. So
they just be tripping for 4 weeks. That's crazy. Could you imagine? You just upset, just mad for no reason for 4 weeks.
Hello, you talking to a Gemini?
Oh, it's you. Oh, we scheduled this interview on time, honey.
That's
on time.
But it's not even me tripping. It's life around you start tripping, right?
Oh,
so like your laptop start messing up. Like this is the perfect day for us to film. So yes.
I was about to see, and it's funny because you said that, and I was like, you said, all this is happening tomorrow. I was like, look at God, him over here, like fixing it for us today. And it's just funny because depending on what you like, how you're looking at it, you would be like, oh, it's astrology. And I was like, oh, look at Jesus doing his magic.
You're like, ooh, Mercury was looking out for me.
Well, the question that I have for you, so when you say study astrology, like, is it books? Is it like, are you out, like, I know it sounds crazy, but are you out with a microscope? Like, what do you mean by study astrology?
Yeah, so I used to study books. I started off with books, and then when the internet finally started popping, you could find information. Because, like, back when I was like 12, it wasn't really that much information.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to just be in a library a lot.
And shout out to you for doing that. Like, before it was easy to just Google shit. I always tell people the real people that care is the ones that read. Like,
but that's great though, because when you read it, you actually remember and retain it more. So it's more meaningful because I had to actually like study it and find it and research it. You know what I'm saying? So you retain it, and it's like you understand it a lot more. I feel like as opposed if I like grew up, they have like Twitter threads on astrology, but they're like cheat sheets, and it's like it's kind of cheating people. Like
you looking at them sideways, like
yeah, like you should read a book
about me. You should just use my name. If you're gonna talk about me using a cheat sheet, like I just gotta be like,
Instagram threads.
Who am I today?
I do like that the internet.
I say I always like to look at, who am I today? Let's go look at Aquarius like talks on like Instagram, just making shit up.
I like it though that it's like exposing people to it, because like back then people weren't really exposed to it. Yeah, so the only thing you really knew about was like on the newspaper column or your horoscopes, right? But people didn't know other stuff. But now because of the internet, it's like people are exposed. So I like that.
So
that's really cool.
So next we got energy wellness practitioner.
Okay. So I got my Reiki practitioner certification.
You gotta explain what Reiki is.
So right? Reiki is universal energy, right? Okay. And basically it's energy medicine. So you can heal different energetic points, chakra points in your body. You know what chakras are? Okay.
I know what chakras are.
Yeah, so you can heal through the power of energy. So I got my certification, but I don't like to call it Reiki. I feel like white people kind of took Reiki and just like made it this.
Is that a certain language? Like that word?
Reiki is like, well, it originates like over in India. It's like one of those practices. So like for them to kind of like go take it and like Europe, like, Eurocentric.
Do what people do with it, yeah.
So I just say I'm an energy wellness practitioner because I use Reiki, but I use just energy. It's just energy healing. So I do that. I offer those services. And people are always shocked when I offer it online. It's like, how do you do energy wellness like through a computer? It's like energy moves. It's everywhere. Like if you can focus on a person and their power and their different points in their body, you can send energy anywhere. I can send you energy right now, and we're not in the same room. So it's like,
I don't consent to any energy yet. I don't understand what's happening yet.
I wouldn't.
That's dope though. That's dope though. Like I think because I immediately think about like how, because I know like my first natural instinct to hear is like, what you mean like energy, like chakra points? But it's like I think, and it kind of gets to the next thing we're going to talk about, but I don't want to get there yet, is our biases as Black people, or just biases as people in general when we hear about these things. Like, what do you mean chakra points? Like, how can you send me energy or anything like that? So I would love to see, like, or if you could at any point during this episode, just kind of talk to us about how that energy is transferred. Is it like a vocal thing? Is it like,
because you can sing to me. I mean, I'm here for it. Like, show me.
I'll take this on.
You guys are funny.
But yeah, that's dope. So, metaphysical life coach.
Yeah. So, I have always studied psychology. I've always studied astrology, and I feel like they're supposed to work together, because I think where we mess up at is we don't look at people as mind, body, and spirit. We kind of like separate the things. So that's why I like to call myself a metaphysical life coach, because I focus on the whole. So I offer sessions with people. And we start from we go through everything. So in a session with me, like, for example, if you were to probably go to a traditional therapist, they'd probably get some background information about you, how you grew up, like that. And then kind of like analyze like where you are now. But for me, I analyze everything. So I want to go back to like your upbringing. But then I go into things too, like what time do you go to sleep? How's your diet? Just
stuff is it's all connected.
Exactly. So I treat everybody like mind, body, spirit. Like, what do you do for you? Like spiritually, like, are you into spirituality? Do you meditate? Do you do like certain things? So that's why, I coach people all individually based on where I feel like they are in those different realms, mind, body, and spirit. And then at the end of those sessions, 48 hours later, I send them a write-off, like, hey, from our session. And then I split things up, like mind, do this, body, do this, spirit, work on these, do this. So
Word. All right.
All right, well, you can sign me up because
like I got a whole lot of mind, body, and spirit problems.
Okay, we all do.
And lastly, we have intuitive tarot, spiritualist, and naturalista.
Yeah. So naturalista is just that I believe in like all things being. I'm a very natural person. I even like my.
I don't get those vibes from you at all.
No, yeah, never would have.
Yeah, I just never.
Heard. Well, yeah, like I'm just very particular about what I put on my body, like in my body, like just everything. So, but intuitive tarot readers. So I do tarot readings, but it's not like traditional tarot readers where they probably use archangels, so like other spirits to talk to them. Yeah. I'm intuitive, and because I do energy wellness, I'm very in tune with my spirit guides. Everybody has spirit guides, so I use my spirit guides to navigate with other people's spirit guides. So if you reach out to me, I talk to your spirit guides to figure out what they want you to know. They translate it on the cards for me. So I always tell people that everything that you need is within you, and it's true. I ain't doing shit. Like I'm literally just a messenger. So I'd be like, hey, well, sometimes people, they come up to me and they ask me questions about a relationship that they think they want, and then their guy would be like, no, tell them about this relationship with their mother instead. And I'm like, okay, why do you want this relationship, but they talking about this relationship, and I feel like you should do this and this because this is what's messing with this one, right? So things don't always, if you think you got a question, sometimes that's not what the answer is going to be. One time some person, I don't ever like tell, but I have too many clients, so I don't remember anyway, but
business is booming. I told you. It's booming.
It was such a subtle flex. She's like
subtle flag.
Have
so many clients,
and it's just so hard.
I don't remember
which phone is ringing
so
right now.
Busy. They're always bothering me. Oh my God.
I don't even know how many times.
They don't bother me because I have boundaries. I tell them my business hours are from this, and don't hit me up unless it's this. Like, but for example, like one time I had a client with like a health issue. And I'll say they hit me up about a question, but it ended up being a completely different health thing. They thought it was a body thing, but it was a mental health thing that they really needed to pay close attention to instead. And that mental health is what was driving the other health issue, right? So I like using spirit guides because I feel like they're the closest thing to you. And they know you. So if I can build a relationship with them, because I feel like with tarot readings are relationships. So you're coming to me, I'm asking you for your permission, and then you have to give it to me, right? Because consent is very important. Right. They give me the permission to read them, and then that's what I translate back, and then boom, there's that. So yeah, that's what I do.
If you don't mind, I just have like two things I want to just say and ask before we move on. So one, I want to say, like, I really appreciate you like coming on, because like you gave me clarity to stuff that I didn't know about. But I think it's dope to hear like a lot of the stuff that you're saying. I'm preaching the same things to the students I work with or people I talk to. You're just, I don't want to say labeling it, because I hope label doesn't come off the wrong way, but it's like you're just saying it the same thing just in a different way. Yeah. So I hope that people listening to this who may have like biases or like, maybe a little bit critical of, everything that you're talking about, they start to realize is we all saying the same stuff. We all looking for the same things. This is just another avenue of getting towards that place. And right. I think people should be more accepting of that. The question I want to ask you is, I'm someone that really likes to go back into people's lives, and you talked a little bit about like your past and stuff and how you got to this point. As you got to this point in your life right now, do you still at this point, or have you ever felt like a pressure to be normal, or quote unquote normal?
Hell yeah.
Because natural isn't the norm. To be in tune with your spirits isn't the norm. To be sensitive to what's going on inside you and others is not the norm. So for you, like, have you felt that? And for others, what would you tell them about navigating that? And how did you get through that? So
I'm navigating that every day of my life, to be honest. It's very difficult. It's been difficult. I've been like this since as long as I can remember. Like, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and
for real?
Yeah. I remember that. So
yeah, crazy.
Hy-Deia, when you're done, I just want you to know that I'm like really about to gush over you for a hot second, because I remember so much about you without you even remembering how far back we go. Like Rochester days. So you know what? We'll get there. But answer the question.
Yeah. But I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and for me, none of this is like considered regular. And in fact, I was like demonized when I was young because like I used to kind of sneak and read about stuff because I was a very curious child and I had a lot of questions, right? So when you have a lot of questions and you grow up, especially like my dad is also Muslim, so it's just been like really, you know, so to be like myself is it's always been a difficult journey to kind of navigate, but I always felt like this is who I was supposed to be, so just like fuck it. But it does get depressing because of that, right? So especially when you have people kind of like beating in your head that like something's like wrong with you for being like that, but then you still choose to embrace it anyway. So even sometimes now, like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, damn, why am I like this? Like, I wish I could be ignorant to like the world and like life. And,
yeah, what I always be saying. Yeah, what I always say.
Like people, like I've been looking at people, it's like, damn, you having mad fun, like in this, like ignorance is really bliss, you know? And it's like, the more like in tune you are with stuff, like you realize that like life is truly like suffering, and it really is. But how do you navigate that? Like, how do you navigate that in that space? And it's like, you learn to embrace the suffering and everything that comes with it. And then in a sense too, you understand that there's oppositions, right? So just because there's suffering doesn't mean at the end, there's like, also we have good too. So life is about duality. And I think I figured that out at a really young age, because when I was 16, I randomly just got yin yang tattoos on my shoulders. And I used to tell people like, yeah, these are my angels and my demons. And I'm balancing them both like every day of my life. And I was like 16 and I don't even know why I got it. I just got them like, and it's so weird because I feel like they ended up being my like actual life story. And like, I'm always wearing like yin yang signs everywhere because I feel like it's me as a person. I always say I'm not a good person. I'm not a bad person, but I can, you know, I do my share. But I try to more so do more good than bad. But if I do bad, I'm not going to like kill myself about it, right? It's like, I'm a human still, you know? So it's like, it happens, but it's definitely difficult to navigate. And I think what helps me and what I would recommend for other people is just kind of like, don't take life so seriously.
Deal.
Seriously, like, because at the end of the day, like everything in this lifetime and everything like materialistic, whatever, like it's all impermanent, right? Like everything is impermanent in life. Even ourselves, even us, like we're impermanent. Everything's impermanent. So kind of like remember that and kind of be gentle on yourself in this process because it's our one life and we're doing it, we're winging it as we go. So kind of just be gentle on yourself. And if you're different, like look into the reason of why you think that is. And sometimes that's your purpose. Try to find your purpose. And everybody's not going to understand your purpose. And that's fine. Even those closest to you. So you just gotta like just...
Figgy facts. Let's just start.
Make it work.
As facts.
You spoke.
I know. You know what? Michael did the intro. So let me do the outro and just say like, one, I was hella excited for you to be here. So I'm happy. I'm happy how professional Michael is being because I'm about to get real crazy on y'all. Like I was like, not even to be funny. Like I was just like, oh, this is so fucking amazing. But all I want to do is gush at like the duality, like you were saying, of people in general and like how people transform in life. Like, where did you go to high school, Hy-Deia?
When?
Where? I'm not gonna tell your age, girl. Where did you go? Because I can't remember where you used to step.
Oh, I went to Northwest College Prep in Rochester.
And remember, you used to step at the Dome, right? Remember, like they used to have the big stepping competitions. I used to go and I used to watch because my mom used to be the coach for the Pearls, the Wilson at Wilson. Oh. And so I used to watch. I used to see Hy-Deia. She used to step, and I used to like. I'm like, why is Shorty so angry? I used to remember like she was mad at and she was going ham at like 15, 16. And I was just like in awe because let me tell you something. You want me to clap, step, and what with my arms? I'm not doing it. And so I was just like, I love stepping. I love everything about it. And I remember seeing her like doing these things. And then we went to school at the same college together. And I remember seeing Hy-Deia. And I think one of the first times we spoke because we found out we had somebody in common. And Hy-Deia said some of the wildest shit to me. I don't remember what it was, but she had just finished cussing somebody out. And she turned around and was like, do you need something? It was something like that. And I was like, I mean, like, it depends on what you're giving out. And it was funny because like Hy-Deia had such a feistiness to her, but like I appreciated, I don't know, the authenticity of it. Like I always knew she was coming at you like 100. I remember like the emo golf phase. I remember because you follow people, you know, especially in the same place. Like I saw people who follow Hy-Deia, so I would see splashes of her, you know, other places. Had no idea who this person was, didn't know their names, anything. I remember golf. I mean, like golf, get up, like the fishnets in the everything.
I'm
a black girl from Rochester, and I grew up on the west side of Rochester. And you know how bold you got to be to walk around Thurston?
Yes.
At the bus stop with trip pants on. People were scared of me. They were like, "Well, she can dress like that in the hood. She knows something I don't know." And I used to be like,
"Listen,
that's true."
It was just one of those things where, like, Hy-Deia, I don't even think you understand how your unapologeticness of just being who you are helped me be unapologetically Black in so many different ways. Like us working together at like at Buff State and, you know, in the In Club, shout out to In Club, and all these different things. Like you just not giving a fuck, quite literally, like really made me realize, like, you know what? You're right. I don't give a fuck. Like I
don't want to give a fuck either.
I don't want to give a fuck. I've been trying to give a fuck and it's not working. So I got to do something else. And so I just want to say, one, thank you. Two, it is amazing to see the progression of your friends. Please support your friends. Like, please support Black businesses. Support Black people in general. Like, because we're not a monolith. It just to see it, like the difference. And what is that? Damn near 10 plus years, girl, that I've like first laid my eyes on you. It is mind fucking blowing, honestly, truly. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy we were able to have you like on our show and to teach people about these different things. Like, and we'll get to the end where you shout out where to find you and all this other stuff.
And you go, first of all, I'm not a crier, but you
Yes. I'm just happy, like, just to see Black people thriving, honestly, truly. And then for them to be my friends makes it 10 times better, to be completely honest with you.
Yo, I'm really crying at the fact that you remember my, like, so I have alter egos. That's so funny that you said that.
Yes, I'm here for it. I have alter egos too. It just depends on like what.
It just depends on the wig.
I'm a naturalista too. Just a different type of naturalista. I like all my wigs to come from the finest Black people.
I like it. You still natural.
Listen, we're going through an awakening. I used to wear everybody else's hair, and I said, you know what? Black women need to see how beautiful Black hair is on Black people. So I could protective style in my Blackness, and that's what we're doing. So here for it.
Heard you. Go ahead. Talk.
Don't get me started. I'll take this wig off and it'll be something different.
Because you won't. You won't do it.
Yeah, I won't do it. This shit glued to my hair. I ripped my edges out. All right.
No.
Y'all ready for the grapevine?
Ooh.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh,
I'm ready.
There's music here.
Oh, Lord. I said.
And now it's time for with Nia.Biaa.
It always sounds so much better, like when I'm listening to it, like listening to
like
podcasts
afterwards.
And I put the like little segment intro there. It sounds amazing because when I'm singing, it sounds shitty, and then here I am like, and then like whatever. Anyway, for those of y'all who don't know, this segment is basically, just getting into like the hot topics that's going around the world. Sometimes they're a little messy. Sometimes, it's a little educational. We do a little bit of both, but we're here and we're excited that Hy-Deia is going to, hopefully put a little spice on it, maybe a little Mercury Retrograde on it. Spray a little bit on there. So y'all ready? You ready?
Ready.
Woo! Okay, here we go. So our first topic is the governor of Michigan was almost kidnapped by 13 white supremacists, and they called themselves Wolverine Watchmen, which don't make any sense because those are two different comic books. So first of all, together. Second of all, your name is stupid. And third of all, no, that's it. No, I think I was about to go off, but that's it.
Actually, I know why it's Wolverine. But at this moment, I'm sure no matter nobody in this chat right now, so I'm not even going to bother.
I'm just saying. For them to even get that far to plan a kidnapping for the governor of Michigan is just it blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Like I think the wild part to me, like when I hear headlines like that and stuff, like I was someone who studied a lot of history. Like I was originally gonna be a history teacher. And I remember reading those stories of like what Russia was like, what Germany was like, you know what I mean? When you know, all those different countries, I'm thinking, wow, like my country could never, right? Like acting like America was just this, you know, believing the lies that we're told about like what America is. And you start now hear stuff like this, and I'm like, oh, we're not that far off. Like,
what are you talking about? We are them. We gave them the blueprint.
Essentially.
No, not potentially. We literally gave Hitler the blueprint and said, here you go. Did you not see what we did with our Chinese? Did you not see what we did with our Black people? Here you go.
Pretty much. But yeah, like I was just shocked to just see like I wasn't shocked to see that they tried to do that. I was more shocked at how, I don't know why I'm shocked about this, but the fact that the president or nobody in power had anything to say about this or anything to governor.
But it puts him in a weird position, right? Because he hates the governor of Michigan because she's a Democrat, right? So she tells him that he's a white supremacist. So he can't say like, oh, I'm happy that she was saved, right? Because he's also fighting with the FBI because, you know, he was, you know, getting investigated by the FBI, you know, Mitch McConnell and all those people and da-da-da-da. And so, you know, they found him guilty on a few things, but he's the president, can't get arrested at this point. I mean, so you can't say good job, FBI, because you hate the FBI. You can't say like, woo, I'm so happy that those people, you know, got saved because you hate them too. But you also can't like condemn the white supremacists because they're your biggest voter base. So it's like, you know,
you're right. Wow.
Yeah, it's like
mind fuck.
It is like, okay, so if our listeners can imagine 13 Black people deciding to try to kidnap any Republican, what that might look like. They would shoot us in the street, like quite literally execution style for everybody to see.
It's they got bugs on me. Say it again.
What'd you say?
Who, him or me?
You.
We got bugs on us, so they would have.
Oh. Wait, what'd you say, Hy-Deia?
No, I'm just saying, it's the audacity for me. Like, this is like a fucking movie.
Yeah.
This whole year has been a fucking movie. And then on top of it, the fucking name, like, they didn't even have any creativity. Like,
and for somebody who loves like superheroes, comic books, all that jazz, right? Like, come on. First of all, like the Watchmen, like in Wolverine, these are the two people. Like, not even somebody who's like anarchy, you know, that like envisions like just chaos. You picked these motherfuckers. Like, they actually fought for justice. They might not have liked it, but maybe that's what they think they are. Do white people think?
Nah, Wolverines is the University of Michigan's mascot.
But like, stupid.
It don't really help. Like, it don't really help.
I thought I had like something go flick, but it didn't. No.
It didn't. No. That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I didn't say anything, because they don't really change the fact that this is stupid.
It don't. Let's move on to something else. You know what? I hope all of those people spend the rest of their days behind bars. I used to say they absolutely will not. However, you know, we, just like you said, transferring that energy, you know, I'm gonna transfer some prison bars. Hopefully they receive it. Okay. So moving forward, Hy-Deia, are you a basketball fan at all?
Yeah, but not really. But yeah, but not really. But yeah.
Well, then this is from Michael. Shout out to the LA Lakers for their win with the NBA championship for the first time in 10 years. And shout out to LeBron. If you want to like come get me, I will be like, you know, your daughter. You could adopt me.
First off, he gotta go home and whip his ass. First off.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be his like baby, because he is very in love with his wife. She got it. I understand my place. But if you want to adopt me at any point, listen, I will babysit your kids. I'll make sure little Bronny stops smoking. Whatever you need to do, LeBron, like, I'm here for. Or maybe he need to continue smoking, and I can help him with that too. Whatever you need, I'm here for you.
First of all, they better have one.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying they better. Kobe died this year. Like, if they
they had to win. They had to win.
Yeah, they had to win. Like, it's the least they could have did.
The least they could have done for Mamba, like, can you imagine that the Heat just like let them win? So like,
exactly, that's fucked up. Like,
there's like, you know what, y'all, they had a hard year. Just let them, just let them win. Well,
and also I want to shout out like the NBA and all the people working in it that made the bubble work. And there's a lot of people that sacrificed a lot of time, sacrificed their health.
90 days in the bubble.
90 days in there. And shout out to the NBA for taking a public stand against everything that was happening during the pandemic. Like, I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm not the biggest person on congratulating people for what they should do, but I think it's important when you see other leagues not doing that. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, I'm really proud of like the NBA as a whole, especially when it's predominantly Black. Look at the NFL, like the least that they could do, and they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's about the NBA.
Well, then shout out to those people that, who's the one I can't stand because of his conspiracy theories? Is it Kyrie?
Yeah.
It's Kyrie.
So, I mean, but shout out to him for using his voice to advocate for Black lives. Like, shout out for like all of those players who believe that, you know, it was important to put this focus on Black lives. And it just goes to show that when we all come together to get some shit done, it gets done. So I did want to shout them out for winning, but just like you said, like all of that is extremely important. And I just like to highlight Black lives in general. So shout out to all of those people who won. I hope y'all can like take a really nice ice bath moving forward, because I'm sure your joint is burning. But
the NBA had to do that though. They saw how much backlash the NFL was getting. So it would be stupid if they didn't. Like,
but then other places still aren't.
You would think though. You would think.
Yeah,
they would have to, and then plus, you know how much they pay these fucking like these big ass basketball players, and how much money they would have been losing.
Listen,
if they didn't do that,
okay, but LeBron would have been fine. Like Dwight Howard would have been fine. Like all the motherfuckers would have been fine. Who is even J.R. Smith? He ain't bounced a ball in about 50 days, and he's been fine. All of them, they'd have been all right. Like even they could not make money for the next 10 years and still be completely fine.
No, but the NFL couldn't afford for them to not play, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh. They better had did all that extra shit. Like they had no choice.
we don't talk to brokies over here. That's why we don't associate ourselves with the NFL. Okay, we broke up with them a long time ago. Okay. Woo. I got a couple more topics for y'all. So, are y'all aware of who Nia.Biaa is? I hope I'm saying her name correctly.
Nah.
So she is currently engaged to Jeezy. Look at you knowing your hot tub. Oh, look at the spirits talking to her, the stars and shit, telling her what's going on. I'm here for
the shade room.
Yes. So she's been a hot topic recently because am I coming out staticky?
Yeah, kind of.
Hold on. Okay, how about now?
Better.
Okay. So Shorty has been a hot topic recently because she has made an announcement that she wants to be submissive in her marriage to Jeezy, right?
Submissive, that's the word.
Yes, and I believe she is of Asian descent, right? I'm not sure where, you know.
Wait, what? That was a question?
No. What? What was the question?
Yeah, Asian.
That's what I'm saying. I believe she's of Asian descent.
Oh, I thought you said of age. So I was like, is she?
No. She's a ass woman. No, Jeezy is not out here.
I was shook. I was like, Jeezy, what you doing?
No. So everything's okay. We're all okay. No, what I was saying.
I thought you said of age to consent, and I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, she's a woman of color, and a lot of women of color have had a lot to say about the situation in general. So I just want to know what y'all thought about, being submissive, to your significant other.
I agreed with what she said.
Okay.
Only because I understand what it's like to be dominant at work, in my extracurricular activities. I've always been like the one in charge, the boss, the leader, right? And then that shit is boss of that too. And I was the leader in that too. And that shit is exhausting when you got to do that everywhere. Plus at home, And the only reason you do it at home is because you don't trust the person that you're with to handle things like you can do it. Right? So
that's real. I feel that.
That's true. So I always tell people that women don't want to be. I literally just I made a post about this not too long ago, and I did an actual segment with someone else about like alpha women, because there's this misconception that women just want to be alphas, and it's like, we don't want to be alphas. We had to become alphas because there were like the men that's around us don't show us that they can lead us. So we put on those, big ass alpha hats and all this extra shit, because if I don't do it, you ain't gonna fucking do it. So it's like, the fuck, you know what I mean? So I get it. Like, I do want to be submissive submissive meaning I want to be led. Like, I want to be led. I want to fucking coast and know that we still gonna get to where the hell we gotta go, because I chill, So like for now, like for example, I'm in a relationship now. People always act shocked when I do certain things for him. And it's like, I feel comfortable doing these things for him because I know that he's gonna.
I'm one of them. I said, you did what?
They be like so shocked, like that when I act more like a woman because I'm so dominant. But that's what you've seen, because I've had to be dominant. I'm naturally not a dominant person everywhere. I am dominant, but not everywhere.
I completely feel that, like, as a woman, I know that there are times where I don't want to make no more decisions, because not only did I have to just lead everything that I am in charge of, right? I have to I don't know, my guard is always up. I'm always on 10, like I'm always going. So I can understand when you come home, you're like, no, I don't want to know I don't want to figure out what's food, because I'm tired. Like, you figure out, you plan the next vacation. Why do I don't want to do that? And so, but I can understand how that can get tiring for maybe somebody like a man that doesn't necessarily want to be the leader. And I guess you just got to figure out who your partner is and how they are. But there's times I'm like, I don't even care. Like, you could pick whatever you want. I don't care, because I'm tired.
You can take turns leading each other. Like, there's situations where I lead my man, and because I'm better at those things, like I know about these things more than him, and he just you gotta fucking take it. Like, I'm better at this. Let me lead this. I know how to get us here. And it's some shit where I'm like, you got this. I'm a chill. Like, that's all you. You know what I mean? And we gonna get there.
You're confident right now, so I'm gonna let you have that.
I'm what? Wait, say it again.
I said you look real confident right now, sir. So I'm gonna let you have that.
Like there you go. That's you. So it just depends. You can take turns in leadership roles, but I get what she was saying. Like, I don't know why people have such a like you don't want to fucking be in charge for real. You don't. Well,
because sometimes some people think like that means you have to walk over me. You make all the decisions. You run everything. You da 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 da. So I can understand. Some people, I don't think they heard what she said. I think some
they just heard submissive and got
all upset about it. But I understand, like, some people don't want to be submissive because that means, like, some people won't lead you in the right direction, or you're not in a place where, somebody can lead you, wherever the case may be. So I was like, I hear you. I don't know if y'all hear her, but I hear y'all.
Yeah, they didn't hear her. It's like submissive and being somebody's bitch. Like, nobody said be somebody's bitch. We said submission. It's a fucking difference. Like, whatever.
Right? Look at Michael allowing two queens to have this space to speak.
Stay out this one.
He knew. He was like, y'all want to talk about the Lakers again? I mean, congratulations. Lakers.
I think like, because at the end of the day, what I've always found is like whenever women, well, I can say whenever, because it's not fair to say all the time, but a lot of the time, whenever women speak their mind, the response is always some contrast. So it's like sometimes
oh no, where'd he go? Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear us? Oh no, he's gone.
I can hear you.
You can hear. Oh, we can hear you now. You might have to rewind a little bit.
Yeah, you stuck.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I was saying that, like, I think that whenever y'all speak, a lot of times people always respond to, people are listening to respond whenever women talk, as opposed to listening to internalize. So I'm really big on, if y'all are saying something, I'm not going to contrast it. I'm not going to speak over you. I'm not going to like just let y'all talk, and I got it. And then I'm gonna go back and think about it on my own. And then if I think you're wrong, I'm gonna come back and tell you. But it is.
I appreciate that. That's legit.
That's hard when I'm always correct, but it's fine. We'll take constructive criticism at a different day. No?
Okay.
I feel that. So I appreciate you, Black King, for allowing us that space.
Hey, man.
Okay. So I only got 2 more things left. Let's do this. So Trump had paid supporters come to his White House rally last Saturday. I don't know if y'all were aware of this, but not only, did he have paid people, but this is his first time at a speaking event with no mask on after he has contracted COVID-19. So I just wanted to let everybody know that those people were paid some money to stand behind him and woo, go president. So that's what's happening there. I wish I could see everybody's faces. Soon come, but still.
Yo, why is he like this?
You like this?
It's the Mercury retrograde. That's what.
Wait. I got some funny shit.
Retrograde.
Say it again.
He's stuck in retrograde. He just lived like that.
I have some funny shit to say about me and Trump astrologically.
Oh. I would love to hear it.
I'm not happy about this, but this is good because it shows, right? Like what certain planet placements can fucking really do to you. So Trump and I, give me the cringe of saying Trump and I.
And no sentence to ever start with Trump and I.
Yeah.
Because usually those people go to jail. No, sorry.
Trump and I have the same sun, Gemini, same moon, Sagittarius, the same Venus, Cancer.
Damn.
Wait, what else we got? We got like 5, I forgot, but we got like 5 planets in common, bro. It's fucking wild. And
was at that rally?
Listen. I'm gonna tell you what makes us different. What helped me out. I have a Virgo rising, right? And a Taurus Mars. So what that means is my rising is how people perceive me. So my rising is a Virgo. So I could come across as a Virgo. If you met me, I must seem like I'm just mad hardworking, like very together, blah, 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 right? Like a Virgo, okay? But then my Mars is how you move through life. So my Mars is a Taurus. So a little stubborn, kind of feisty a little bit. That's
oh my gosh, Michael, does that sound like someone we know?
So your Mars is how you move through life. His, right? So I have earth signs, so they ground me. So even though me and him have the same placements, I have earth in my chart that simmers it the fuck down. Him, he has fire in his chart. So his rising is a Leo. Leos are the center of the universe because they're ruled by the sun. That's why he acts like the world revolves around him, because Leo is the sun, okay? And then his Mars, how he moves through life is also in Leo. So again, he moves through life like a Leo. Like you see how like in Leos usually have like their hair is, you can usually tell somebody's a Leo because their hair is like their...
Stop it. No. What? What are you about to tell me?
Like, your Leo's hair is like kind of like your trademark. Like you always know a Leo by like their hair. Usually Leo's like big hair, or their hair is like some kind of like something's different about their hair. Well, I think Trump hair always been like that weird kind of like do, right? Because his Mars is in Leo. Okay. So
I need to get my chart done because this is right here. I don't even.
So listen. So because he has all that fire energy, even though me and him have the same placements, Earth grounds mine, fire lights his. So his is magnified. That's why he's the way he is. And then Leo just makes him seem like life revolves around me. And that's why he's like that.
Damn, I just thought it was because he was racist.
No, and I don't even know if he, crazy thing is, I don't even know. Well, I think he is, but then he's also mentally, his chart placements and the way all those fire kind of like magnifies everything, he's mentally ill. You know that.
Oh no, that's a fact. Racist and mentally ill. That's a
Like he's like narcissistic personality disorder, bipolar disorder. Like he has some shit like going on in his chart. And you can see it all. Like
I know. I'm because his niece wrote that book, and so she's a psychiatrist or something like that. And I'm like, damn, I can't wait to like read that and like hear her just rip him to shreds. Like, I cannot wait. I can't. Like, that man is
But who pays for people to come to their thing, and then you still have COVID, bro? Like that shit is not gone. Like.
No, it's not. And it's funny how to hearing like some of the Republicans like spin why he had paid people, because they're like, oh, it's still a rally. Like they want to like rally support. And I'm like, could you imagine if Biden had paid people? They would probably lose it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. People would be like, oh no, y'all are cheating or whatever. So it's a weird.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Hold on. Okay, yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on with this man, but I'm glad you explained a little bit better. Now I'm gonna be walking around looking at all the Leos, and I'm be like, "You a fucking Leo, ain't you? Sunrise and moons. I seen it. I seen it.
The sun rising all left
See
side.
the sun rising. Let the sun be rising. I know.
They be trying to say it's because he a Gemini. I'm like, don't put that on Geminis.
That's not us. That's not us. That's y'all. All right. Thank you for joining me for, the grapevine. I hope y'all have fun talking about people. We got to do this again sometimes.
All right, stop what you're doing, because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to.
Hey, yo, listen to MikeyBarxxx.
Not the aftertaste.
On the Wine Night Podcast.
All right, so this is the part of the episode where I guess Hy-Deia goes to her one of the alter egos and start cursing me out. So, as y'all know, this is the aftertaste, and it's the part where I share my unpopular opinion. So this is a continuation of a conversation. This whole episode, honestly, is a continuation of a conversation Nia and I were having on another episode talking about astrology and horoscopes and all these different types of things. And I briefly touched on it, but we're gonna do a whole segment on it now. I get frustrated with the fact that people are fine with horoscopes and things like that not always matching or not being correct, but are always looking for complete accuracy and consistency from Christianity and God. And what I mean by that is people will find every single, when I say people, I mean like those who are not believers or those who, maybe, what is it when someone believes in the devil? I can't remember what it's called. But but just whoever is extremely critical of God and of the Bible. Huh?
That's not atheist. Worship the devil? That's Satanist.
There's like a whole nother level of that.
Also don't believe in God. I thought you said also. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So again, like just to summarize it, like I get frustrated with that because again, I always tell people faith is something you're supposed to believe in, even though it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't necessarily always apply. But however, I feel like a lot of times people are looking for this like concrete consistency from God, the Bible, and all these different things. But then at the same time, for some reason, are okay with horoscopes not always matching, or their reading for that day doesn't necessarily apply to them, or whatever the case may be. So I say that to you all to reply and share whatever you may think.
So I feel like that works both ways, because I know for me, it's always Christians coming at me saying like, well, I read my horoscope, this isn't real. Like, like they're always doing that to me. Like astrology's not real. Like, so I feel like I always get that a lot. But me, because I grew up really religious, I actually took the time to understand religion. So I always say I'm an omnist. I feel like I'm a person who I study all different religions, and then whatever makes sense to me, I just piece them together and have my own shit. So I think another thing is if Christians weren't afraid to venture outside of Christianity, like spiritualists aren't afraid, because we venture everywhere, right? But Christians kind of stay in this little like box. And I feel like if Christians would actually venture outside of that box, if they would venture outside that box, they would see that actually everything is connected. So even astrology in the Bible, like astrology in the Bible are connected. There are stories, like astrology is literally telling the story. So when they say the son of God, like is actually like the sun, and there's actual stories, like astrological stories that are connected to the Bible. And even tarot cards, like I already had them here. I had some sessions before this, but like tarot cards, like, but like tarot is literally like the Bible, like in tarot. Like there's so many biblical references in tarot, like from judgment cards to the devil card that have like Adam and Eve on it. Like it's literally like everything is connected. So I tell people, like, honestly, Christians who try to spin that whole, well, your astrology is incorrect. And then like people, spiritualists who don't want to really acknowledge religion and say like, well, this is all incorrect. Like, honestly, they're all connected. And I feel like the problem is that we look at them differently. We don't look at them like how they're supposed to be looked at cohesively. They're supposed to work together, but we don't do that. So therefore we got people over here arguing the same thing that this person over here is arguing, but that's not what it's supposed to be. Like when you study astrology, you're going to realize like, damn, I got to actually read the Bible and I got to actually know religion. And then when you read religion, then you start doing tarot, you're like, damn, this shit is the same story in the Bible. Like it's all connected. So
I used to say that to Michael. Well, like, yeah, to a certain extent, because I never ventured out like too far, but just in general, because I don't necessarily believe in man-made things. And so I think like the Bible is a man-made thing. So it's flawed, just like tarot cards are man-made, right? Like so not like the spirituality of it, but like how we are interpreting it, we have created it. So therefore it will be flawed, because it's not like God literally came down and said, here, just use these tarot cards. This is everything you need and da 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 da. We made them to try and interpret all of these things. So in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, like it all works together. I get my stuff read and I'm like, yeah, that's true. Like Newbie read me, like, and she was like, how did your month of August go? And I said, girl, you read me to shreds. Because when I tell you everything you said, damn near came true. And then there were months where like, she'll read me and I'm like, not necessarily, but okay, I understand. Like, but there are times, you pray or you read something in the Bible, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't make no sense. But then you also see like Christianity, like, or spirituality come out in all these different ways. So I always tell Michael, like, I feel like everything is working together. I don't know why God would make the sun, the moon, the earth, the stars, the galaxy, and then say like,
don't use them.
But yeah, and then all of it is like disconnected. Like I said, well, if y'all can believe in demons and angels and spirits, like I don't understand why you can't believe in Taurus and Aries and Aquarius. Like I don't understand why you like it doesn't, kind of all come together for some people. But like you said, I think it's just the mentality of the box. Like if you kind of break away from those walls, you'll be able to recognize like it's not very different.
And the thing is too, like tarot, for example, so tarot goes back to ancient Egypt, and it actually wasn't cards at first. It was just people using spirit to do work. And then later down the line, they put cards to it to help out so that they can have like a practice with it. And then over time, illustrators started creating different decks. Like, so like the deck that I have, like that I just brought out was like the Rider-Waite deck, was like a traditional deck, right? But I only use traditional decks that were created by Black people. She was a Black woman who created it. Or I only use African-American or like African decks because I feel like I should work with something that resonates with me, right? And I also only read Black people. Sorry.
All right. Business is booming still.
I don't know. But another thing though, with the Bible, I think people, if you start to study other like ancient practices and ancient religions and ancient texts, you'll see that the story is the same, but they keep switching the characters, right? Yeah. Also in the Bible, they remove a lot of books. So like there's the Apocryphal that people don't even know about. Like people don't even know that there's Apocryphal. Like there's this book called the Book of Sirach. It's like this book of wisdom. It's a book of Enoch. And those are my favorite books in the Apocryphal. I like religion. I study it a lot. And it's like, if you were to actually read that and then you see how over time they just keep translating stuff to fit different agendas, like even from like down to the wording, like like calling people, what's the word that they use for gay people in the Bible? Like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the word right now.
Yeah, but like that wasn't even the original word. Like they used to literally before like when the text was in, what was it, Greek? Was it when the text used to be in Greek? The word was actually for boy molester. It was never about gay people. It was about people who molest.
Oh, it's not a eunuch, right? It's not eunuch.
Say it again.
Is it eunuch? No, it's not a eunuch, is it?
Not that. I forget the word. Well, homosexuality, but they always, it's another word that they use, but it was never about like, you get what I'm saying? So as time keeps going on and agendas keep being pushed and people who keep taking it and making these different renditions, then you gotta think about it. I grew up Jehovah's Witness. That's a whole different Bible. Like that shit is a cult.
I wasn't saying
that shit is trying to learn something. Hy-Deia said, let me tell you something. Something about your little group, okay?
That shit is a cult. I don't care. I witnessed it. I grew up in it. Like, I know. And it's so hard to tell Jehovah's Witness, like, hey, like, let's look at this. My grandma to this day would be like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need no God, like God's word. Like, and I'm just like, hey, like, let me not say certain things because I don't want to trigger her. She's so involved in it that she can't even think about other things. And like, to the point where it's kind of like her, them, and like the rest of society, which is like, abominations. You know what I'm saying? So like that's horrible. Like the fact that I don't know how we got all the way over here, but basically it's just, I don't know, so many different translations. It's just crazy how different translations can put you in different places. Just like how even in we were talking about horoscopes, like the horoscope, people using sun signs didn't get started until like the 1940s. Nobody ever used sun signs at first. It was your rising sign. So technically, you're supposed to use your rising sign, but to get people more involved into astrology, we used our sun signs, which is why it's not always correct all the damn time, because how you generalize a whole group of people by their sun sign, right? Like, duh, of course it's not going to be correct. So your argument, I agree, like, it's not always correct. Just like your Bible is a little twisted too, because they keep taking all the damn chapters out. But
listen, they said, y'all want empowerment? No, take all that shit out. No.
Yeah. Put all the slave shit in, like leave it like that. The fuck?
No, for real.
I appreciate all that. Like I think like hearing you talk about it and everything, like it was dope to just hear you tell like basically the truth. Like the Bible is not, I don't want to say correct, but it's not complete and it's not, and it's been changed so many different times. So we don't know what it is. I think one thing that always gets lost for people is it's about faith.
Yeah. So
I always tell people I am 99.99999 keep the nines going, sure that God is real. And there's also that 0.001%. Maybe Hy-Deia is right. Maybe Nia is right. Maybe God is a black woman. Like, I don't know. Like, I really... Oh, okay.
God's a woman.
Okay. A woman gonna be a woman, will always be a woman.
A woman.
That's it.
It makes sense, because if you think about life before, like, patriarchy and religion, like, life was matriarchal. And there were, like, women goddesses, like, who gave birth. Goddesses were always pregnant, bro. Like, if you look at all those old ass statues, it was always the like pregnant lady, right? She was always a pregnant lady as a goddess. And then life went from matriarchy to patriarchy. And then suddenly we got a man being in charge.
Blaming shit on us all the time.
No, because
if y'all had it first, that means y'all fucked everything up.
No, y'all fucked it up. Then they dicks out and then spit on the ground and said, I made life. No, you didn't. Absolutely not. Shut up. Like, just because y'all want to sit here and strong, you know what? Don't get me started. Because
well, I was going somewhere before Queens to close the conversation. But what I wanted to say is that I don't know. Right. And I think what happens is people start to take their religion or their beliefs as fact, and they start to step on other people as opposed to giving everyone an opportunity to believe in what they believe in, you know, respectfully, and give them their space. What I want to ask you now, my last question before we move on, is at the beginning of this segment, you talked about how, I believe you called yourself an omnist, I think you said.
Yeah.
Right? Is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. Right. So if you was taking pieces and things like that, right? I wouldn't be keeping the same energy if I did not bring back a comment that I made in the previous episode where I said, sometimes to me, it feels like when people take pieces from different religions and different beliefs, it feels as if they don't want to commit to the part of the religion that they don't like. So they take the positive parts from it. Mm-hmm. So for you, I'm not saying that's what you are doing, but for you, what brought you to that place where you started to take from different things and realized, okay, this is what I'm going to do, as opposed to what you did growing up? just follow this thing.
Right. So, because I was exposed to so many religions when I was younger growing up, I found a lot of truth in some religions that made sense. So whatever makes sense to me, I feel like I'm a very logical person. Whatever makes sense and whatever feels right, yeah, it makes sense to me. I'll keep that with me. So I feel like it is a sense of me not wanting to commit, because I feel like if me committing to something that I don't wholeheartedly agree with, I think that's what a lot of the issues are. I feel like sometimes we commit to shit that like you don't feel 110% about or you can't do, right? So there's people who say I'm Christian, but then you doing X, Y, and Z. Motherfucker, you not Christian? Or you not Muslim? You know what I mean? So I feel like, why do we have to label ourselves if we can't commit to certain things? And I'm a very, I believe in commitment with everything. So if I can't commit to something, I'm not going to call myself that, right? So that's just how I am. If I feel like something is flawed, I'm not committing to it. But if it makes sense, I'll take that with me because it makes sense. And I like it. Why not?
Who's going to tell her otherwise? Not a goddamn person. So
What'd you say?
I say, who's going to tell her otherwise? Not a goddamn person. So
not me. I mean, I can say what I want, but it ain't going to do
that. So, I mean,
I've been doing what I want to do my whole life. So
nah, and that's dope. But you know, when you say that, it makes me then say like, okay, well, if those things don't sit well with you and you don't agree with them, and you have to fully commit, then do you not make room for people who fall short?
As in what, like friends or what?
No, I'm saying like in general, people fall short of what they commit to. So then is it impossible for someone to be committed to something and fall short sometimes?
I feel like there's a difference between falling short and not trying. Because if you're falling short, don't I want to try so that I don't continuously keep falling short? Or am I just making excuses for myself for falling short? Right?
Ooh, she pulling that. She pulling from 3.
Michael likes to do this thing where he starts getting into a whole bunch of deep questions. We got the shit to do. Come on.
Just one last thing, please. One last thing.
He would sit here with you all day, and I would love to hear it. I really, really do. Would love to. But now he want to start talking about your dad, and then what happened with your
just one last thing. Just one last thing.
Cousin, and then why, what was the emo phase and all that.
One last thing. I also just want to ask, like, for you said that you talked about not agreeing and you don't want to commit to it and stuff like that. Can you truly be committed to something if you don't have to sacrifice?
Well, it depends on what type of sacrifice you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm confused. Like, elaborate.
So for me, like, there's certain parts of my faith that that asks me to sacrifice certain things that I don't necessarily agree with. I don't feel like I have to, or I don't want to. But because of my faith and my love for God, I sacrifice these things. So for me, because of that, I'm of the belief now that for me to be friends with someone, for me to be in love with someone, for me to be a part of something, I have to sacrifice. So to you, from what you described, it was like, if I don't agree with it, why would I be a part of it? So to me, I ask is like, so you don't see sacrifice as a form of love and commitment?
Yeah, but I'm not sacrificing just for anything. Like, if I don't agree with it, why would I want to sacrifice? If I don't love a person, why are you worthy of me sacrificing? That's like, if I am not in love with this, let's say love is this person is a religion, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not wholeheartedly in love with you. There's some things about you that I just really love and like, but it's just not enough to get me all the way there. Why would I sacrifice if you're just not enough for me? That's selling us both short. Like, now I'm cheating you because I'm acting like I'm in love with you and I'm giving myself this label, but I'm not really devout, or I'm not, I'm just not there. So to me, I just take everything really seriously. It's like, also, I feel like I would be cheating in a sense too if I was to call myself, I don't know, I'm really into Buddhism. If I call myself a Buddhist, I feel like I would be cheating from like the actual label of what it is, because occasionally I'm going to go dabble around in like some other shit, right? Like, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not devout Buddhist.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense, because I always say, like, I'm more spiritual than I am religious. Like, for all intents and purposes, I am a Christian Baptist, if my grandmother's listening, right? For all intents and purposes, yes. And at the same time, like, I read things and I go, that makes a lot of sense. And also recognizing, like, as much as we, told Christianity, that's not necessarily like what our people were practicing. So would I have thought of these things differently? Like, would I see life differently if, I had? So I try to keep an open mind and saying, like, just because this is what has been forced down my throat since I was a child doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing or the only thing. And like, what does that look like to open yourself up to understand? I think that like it also breeds empathy, like for your fellow people, that like what they're following and why they're following it, and it makes like, does it make them a good person at the end of the day? That's all I ever wanted to be, was a good person and try. So I don't know.
It's a misconception though. You said that. So this is the thing too. Like, I would never commit to this Christianity because I know that it's not the original Christianity. Because there were some of us that were Christians. Like if you go back to Africa, there was Christianity in Africa before we got brought here. But that shit got all fucked up because what happened? White people came as Christians, right?
White people again, again.
Yeah, and then they gave us their Christianity. So I just personally, I can't really fuck with the one that's here because it's not the one that we originally had, right? And then, but as a thing though, when you're a spiritual person, you get respect for these things because I also do a lot of work with my ancestors, and my ancestors here in America, unfortunately or fortunately, they were Christians, right? Because of what happened to them. So they had to use what they had. And so another thing that I believe in is hoodoo and like voodoo, all of that, because hoodoo is using what you have. It's literally just using what you have. And they used what they had. They used the Bible. Psalms is fucking powerful as shit. Like they used the Bible for spells to help themselves, to free themselves. Like even the Haitian Revolution, like they used spells to help themselves. So, I mean, you can't, like, that's why I said that I won't ever commit, but I'll have a respect, and some shit I'll understand and I get it, right? And I get it. That's just it. Like,
that's it. Actually, you brought up voodoo, and so I'm gonna slide us into the wind down now.
Wind down.
All right, so what you trying to chat about next? Yo, we should talk about this.
I mean, it is time for the wind down.
That's cool, but after that, I need some advice.
Let's wind down with the Wine Night podcast.
Now, right?
It wasn't so bad that I asked that one last question. You always just be demonizing me.
You see how your co-host will just attack you? You attack your character. You know, I'm trying to save him from himself. Like I saw in his eyes, he was about to.
Word, because I will hold you here and pick your brain.
Y'all was on the phone together. He was about to go in. I had to stop. I had to save him from himself.
That's funny. Y'all funny.
But we are in our last segment. We're in the wind down. So usually we just like have like a submission, and this submission can be anything. It could be, you know, our listeners just wanting us to talk about a subject, or they might need advice. So last week we had a very tantalizing, I don't know if you've seen it, but you know, we had some people who had some issues. So this week we picked somebody who just wanted us to talk about the specific topic since we were here, right? And so I'm not sure if you are aware of the Honey Pot. This is a Black-owned business. She created feminine products for women to make sure, you know, your pH balance is on point. Like you down there, you good. You're not just smelling like flowers, because vaginas are not supposed to just smell like flowers. Ever. If it does,
very weird.
No, honestly, if it smells like that, go see your doctor. Anyway, so she's very successful. She is currently in Target, I believe, and you can buy her stuff online. However, there was somebody who flipped around her product and read, you know, sometimes how people have a little description of like how we got started, so you can like care about them and shit. And so on the back, she said that she called on her ancestors to help her with this idea and to help create this product. And unfortunately, you know, sometimes we just have some people in the world who take things a little too far and said, see, this is why I don't fuck with this voodoo shit and this spirituality stuff. And they talked about the horoscopes and everything that wasn't necessarily Christian, because, you know, that person decided to name, you know, her ancestors and what they have helped her do. So knowing that Michael is Haitian and how he feels about being, you know, voodoo, right? And know that you are a spiritual.
How do you feel about it?
I just don't like when people wrongfully put a label on us. I just think when we all do it, when it's something that's part of a specific group of people in a specific part of the country, right? And also people make people make incorrect assumptions about what voodoo is, assuming like it's about putting spells on people to like trick them and do all this negative shit. It's not only negative, right? And what that ended up doing is like, I get into a whole thing, but basically I just don't like the generalizations that are made because of voodoo.
It's very empowering. My boyfriend is Haitian, so I get it. But I fuck with voodoo. I wish that we did it because we wouldn't be in this fucking situation. If we fucking did voodoo, we'd be fucking lit. Like, she's an asshole for saying that shit. Fuck out of here. So I'm gonna need her to never pray to her dead ass grandma again for protection because you calling on your ancestor right there, sweetheart.
Ooh, and they
all do that. They're like, oh, my grandma talking. When y'all be praying to y'all old ass dead people who just died and asking them for look over y'all and protection, that is calling on your ancestors. Like, why do they not understand?
I ain't gonna hold you. I just seen a couple of people in my dreams, and I had to tell them, look, I love y'all, but unless it's some like real dire shit, I can't. Y'all know I'm emotional. Don't do that to me. Like, you gotta come only when the shit is like hitting the fan, bro. Or like, I need some help, like for real. Like, don't just be showing up. I get emotional.
You know what's interesting? I've never, like, I can tell you, in 26 years of living, I've never had an experience like that. So I don't know if it's like me, just my persona prevents me from welcoming that in, or maybe I'm just not perceptive to it. Like, do you encounter people who just do not have communication with spirits or ancestors and things like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. My ex.
What you feel about me? Shit.
Someone's just so like nothing exists. I never experienced anything in my life. What the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you?
It's not true. Yeah.
Like, what is wrong? Okay, something's wrong with you, but nothing's wrong with you. It just means that sometimes we have programming of our third eye. So sometimes you gotta like do some work on that third eye. Maybe your chakra is blocked. You need to like.
Oh, something's blocked.
Yeah. Yeah, because like. Yeah, that could be it. Sometimes like also like life experiences and stuff. If you've been kind of like not receptive to certain things for like a long time, we train our bodies to like, man, no, this doesn't resist. So therefore things don't really reveal themselves to you because you already put that in like your perception. But as opposed to honestly, the more like you start being in tune, the more shit start revealing and you be fucking annoyed. You be like, what the like, can I get a break? You know what I mean?
You know what? Actually, you know what? We're gonna touch all the topics because Michael also doesn't believe in like Black spiritual Negro spirit. The superstitions and everything. So I don't believe in superstitions. I don't believe in. You spill the salt, I'm throwing it over my left shoulder like immediately. Like you walk that
food,
I'm walking around immediately. Like you sweep over my foot, we fighting. Like that's like no, absolutely not. Like
that's hoodoo. That's hoodoo. That originates from hoodoo, and even like how Black people cook black eyed peas on New Year's Eve, like bro, that's all hoodoo.
But like I believe because I've seen, and I tell him, I'm like, no, I've seen like shit, like I've seen, like literally, like my grandparents come in my dream and they talk to me, and like they shouldn't be talking to me, and then things happen, and I'm like, yo, bro, like listen to me, and he's like, yo, you're bugged out. And I'm like, yo, I just drove a fish like somebody's pregnant. Like, I know it.
We started on that. My family, the whole family dream about fish. And then they all be calling me like, are you pregnant? I'm like, sorry.
I always get real nervous because my mom, she's like, oh, had a dream about fish. And every single time somebody pop up in my it has literally never failed. And the only time it has quote unquote failed is because somebody else did something to get rid of that thing that was there. So technically they was correct. You just intervened and said, and like, it's just crazy. Cause like, I believe in all that shit, everything. I'm like, God is speaking, something is speaking to me and I'm listening. And then Michael's like, I've never seen any of those things. I don't believe in any of those things. And so
so my thing is this, like after talking with Nia, what I've learned to stop doing is just dismissing it as like, y'all crazy. I just started saying, well, I just don't experience it in that way. Cause we're doing the same things. It's kind of like you talked about earlier. We're having the same experiences. I'm just labeling them differently. I have those people in my life who are damn near prophetic, but I've just always labeled it as, oh, God was speaking through you or something like that. Like my family has this running joke that I'm just touched by God. Like I'm protected because situations I've been in, they were like, I've been in so many near-death experiences before I even turned 4 that they're like, yo, there's just something about you. Like you're just touched. So I guess for some people, other people, they might label that as maybe there's some sign to that. Maybe there's like someone's, put some spell on like
heavy, strong Jupiter influence. That's like good luck. So in your chart somewhere, but that's luck. But like, so Jupiter people, if you got, I feel like you got Sagittarius in your chart somewhere real heavy. And like a real strong degree because like that, me too. So me same, like, I don't know how I'm alive.
Yeah, honestly, same thing. Like there's just no reason I should be here right now. Like if I really listed it, it would be crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's dope because it's like, I appreciate hearing you say like, oh, like I'm gonna go look that up now. Like what does Jupiter mean? Like, those different type of stuff. Cause it's like, what I've always just labeled it as, it was just God. But for other people, like they might label these other things. So like, I really appreciate all this stuff. Like it's really dope.
That's a fact.
It's really dope.
We really appreciate you coming out with us. Thank you so much. Please tell the people how to find you, your website, everything.
So guys, you can find me on, I don't know what accent that was, but so you can follow me on Instagram at the THEHAUS of Indigos, all one word, the house, okay? House in German, right? Because I just love the way it sounds, how it's spelled, and just looks all woo-woo. So the House of Indigo. And then I'm also at thehouseofindigo.com. That is my website. You can check me out, look at everything that I, also subscribe because this week I will be dropping my first newsletter. So if you're not a member, you're going to miss out on some cool shit. And I'm finally doing like monthly transits in astrology for my members only. So y'all stop being fake, act like y'all don't like astrology on my Instagram, but it'd be like 300 of y'all looking at my stories every day.
Woo! The Christians, the closet Christians.
Flex that, just
maybe up in there.
They be tuning in real faithfully, but y'all be acting like y'all don't into astrology, so it's okay. But yeah, so follow me there, guys. Also my personal Instagram, in case you just want to see how cute I am, is at what's my Instagram?
She did all that.
Is it the House of Aphrodite?
Huh?
Is it the House of Aphrodite?
Yeah, at the_house again, HAUS_AFRODITE, because I am a Black goddess of beauty, okay? Afro. And yes.
Cool.
Yes. Thank you so much. Lead us out, Michael.
All right, cool. Damn, I really do have like 1,000 other things, but like.
You don't have time.
Hi. Anyway, if you made it to this point, one of two things has happened. Either one, you listen to this whole podcast and we're thankful for you tuning in, or two, you're not really listening. This is just background noise for you. So if it's the first, please remember to like, subscribe, and share our content, and also Hy-Deia's content. If anything she said, stuck out to you, please check her stuff out. But again, share your content with at least one person you know this week who needs a glass of wine, good conversation. Their signs read. They need to figure out what planet they on, like whatever the case may be. Like, this is for you. Also, check us out on Instagram at the Wine Night Pod, Twitter as well. Need to be up there chatting. But if it's the second, well, thanks for the stream. But still, make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that type of shit. Like, we love that. We need that. Like Nia has said earlier in the show, your friends need those like, subscribe, share. That's how the algorithms work. And it's just support Black people. Support your friends.
Dope, so.
Word. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, because I'm fucking dope. So come on.
Oh, I thought you said to vote, because I was going to say, make sure you go.
Oh, yes. Do that too. Please.
No.
Yes, our next episode is all about y'all not even ready. All about
don't warn them because they won't tune in because they know.
I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about LeBron and
a whole bunch of we're gonna talk about Shade Room and all the type of
I'm sorry. We're gonna edit that out. All right.
Peace and love, y'all.
Bye, Winers.
Bye.